Hello, hello. You're listening to another episode of The Fight Game with Tim McKain. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing bare knuckle fighter and mixed martial artist Lorenzo Hunt. How you doing today, sir?
Lorenzo, the Juggernaut Hunt.
The Juggernaut Hunt. I am interviewing Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt.
In the building. How y'all doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
how y'all enjoying this New Year's, man? Y'all happy to be out of 2020?
Yes. Yes, I am. I'm glad, even though, we were working, man. I did 80 interviews in 4 months, in the last 4 months of 2020. So I've been grinding.
Yeah. I was grinding too, bro. I stayed busy. Thanks to Dave Feldman, they shook my manager, the BKFC management team, and the president. They did their best to keep things going. They actually have a BKFC app just because it was so hard to secure venues and to do different things that they kept us fighting. Even if they had to do minimum crowds and stuff like that, you can log on to the BKFC app and watch our fights anywhere in the world. It's called BKTV. And you can put in promo code and ask for the Juggernaut. You can watch all the fights. It's actually pretty awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You heard it there, folks. You heard it there first. So when did your love for the fight game begin?
My love for the fight game began with my father. My father was a very militant, very martial artist, and he was a disciplinarian. He stayed like right by our side through hell and high water. And he taught us basically how to walk and talk and how to be men and how to protect ourselves. My father, he took a real special interest in me. I was little and light skinned and people picked on me and he made me strong. He knew that it would be rough for me. And so he did everything he could to make me stronger than everybody else. And it worked.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, now you kind of mentioned it too. You kind of mentioned something I was going to ask, which was in your previous interview you did with Must Love MMA. You talked about how you have to be a psychopath. You have to be a savage in the ring, in the octagon. Does that savagery come based on you just being in the octagon, or is it something that you were born with?
Well, people misuse those terms, and I really don't like the common use of the term savage and even my use of the term psychopath. If you really read into what I was saying that you have to disassociate yourself from the task at hand. And that's a trait, that's a common trait of a psychopath, a dissociative disorder. Like, I'm at work and I'm working and it looks crazy to you, but it's not to me. It's a normal thing to me. It's like shooting a basketball or making a burger at McDonald's. I'm in a cage. I'm not scared. I'm not crazy. It looks crazy, but it's not to me. And that's the point that I was trying to make, that the job that has to be done, and you have to do it unemotionally, unapologetically, and you have to take care of that business as if you are a psychopath.
I got you. And so how long did it take you as a fighter to disassociate yourself? Did you always? Yeah,
so I don't know, but I do know that there were times when I used rage as fuel and I used anger as fuel and it burned out. I didn't figure out how to disassociate myself from my skills and my rage and my anger until I started to teach. I have a wonderful student named Isaiah Washington out of St. Augustine, Florida. I spent the majority of my time learning how to teach him. And as I began to be a teacher, I figured out that, hey, I can't rely on rage to make these moves. I can't rely on anger to put myself in this proper position to be able to come out with a win. I can't see red and lose all reason and win like that, not consistently. Rage burns out, anger burns out. It's a fuel, it's a type of fuel, but it's a fast burning fuel like nitrous. It's only going to last a second, and then it completes the circle and it comes back as a different emotion. It comes back, crazy. So as I began to teach, and I began to teach the guys how to do what I would do, how could I teach them if I had to be insane to do it? I began practicing over and over and over again the basics, learning how to touch and how to move and how to do those moves without being angry. And then it translated over into the fight. And you'll see, if you watch my first bare knuckle fight, you'll begin to see the unemotional attacks. And even when I get hit, it's a very accepting, unemotional thing. And it allows me the wherewithal and to be able to maintain my mind so that I can strike back or land a counter, even if I get hit. And so, yeah, it's a very, very important part of the fight game to be able to disassociate yourself from the anger and rage of being slapped or hit or punched or poked in the eye or hitting the groin. You have to be able to stay calm and think your way out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was talking to a boxer the other day, Daniel Edward, the Haitian sensation, and I asked him this question. I said, what's the most important trait in a fighter? The mentality of the fighter, the mental, the skill, or the heart? He said the heart of the fighter is the most important aspect. For you, what is the most important aspect of a fighter? The heart, the skill, or the mentality of the fighter?
It's definitely, for me personally, it's definitely the mentality of the fighter. He feels however he feels for whatever reasons he feels. But for me, the mentality of the fighter is everything. The body itself is just a vessel, no different than a car. You can take a NASCAR driver and put him in any car and he can drive it like it's a NASCAR. But you can't take a NASCAR and let anybody drive it and be a winner. So it doesn't matter how big or bad or how bulky or how big your heart is. It takes the right type of mind to be able to drive it, to be able to control it, to be able to use it, to be able to manipulate it, to be able to make it do what it's designed to do. You have to have a masterful mind.
I got you. So what was that transition like, going from mixed martial arts to bare knuckle fighting? Because you actually recently just started in 2018 when David Feldman and Kevin started bare knuckle. But what was that transition like for you?
For me, it was a smooth transition. My first fight for David Feldman was against Reggie Pena, who was a known boxer, a striker. He fought good guys. He even fought Deontay Wilder. So it was a little bit intimidating to go straight into boxing, bare knuckle boxing against high level opponents. However, knowing my background, knowing my striking background, knowing that I had 16 or 20 bouts, 16 of which were knockouts. I know how to knock people out. I know how to turn their brain off. And when the shit gets crazy or things get to moving and things get to driving, or I'm just ready to go, I can turn you off like that. And I've proven it over time. Like I said, I've been in 20 total matches, I think 9 or 10 Ami fights, and then another 10 in pro fights. And for the most part, that ability to knock a person out or to, like I say, turn out the lights is easy for me. Other people, like you say, they come with big hearts. They've been taught to wrestle. They just go, jiu-jitsu. They have no end game in sight. Wrestling, like you just go, and there's no end. Me, I can turn your brain off, and that's the end. So coming over to bare knuckle, I can get gritty and I can push myself physically, but the mental aspect is to be able to make the right angle and shut you down.
I got you. So what were some of the toughest battles that you've had throughout your career, both as a mixed martial artist and as a bare knuckle fighter now?
I honestly don't categorize them as difficult battles. My biggest opponent is myself. I'm constantly fighting myself, constantly pushing myself, and some days I don't win. Some days I'm lazy like everybody else. Some days I skip like everybody else, and that's been my battle throughout my career. It's cost me in the ring at times. I've not taken opponents serious, and it's cost me. with jiu-jitsu, trying to learn to master jiu-jitsu at a late age, that was a battle for me. That was a real big battle for me. And when I started losing, stringing together losses in MMA, it was because I never really defeated that jiu-jitsu monster. The malleability of the different skills. Like I said, I'm a top level striker, a top level kicker, top level, and I brought those things over with me. And then guys started to be like, hey, take them down. Hey, make them do this, make them do that. And it started working. And so you got guys that are high level wrestlers, college level wrestlers, Olympic level wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Then they're hopping into MMA and it's too late for you to catch up, so to speak,
Interesting.
And so that's been my biggest battle. It hasn't been individual people. The losses that I lost to, like I've lost three total MMA fights and one bare knuckle fight in my career, and I can honestly sit down with you and go over them and be like, that was a fight I should have won. It would have been easy had I not such and such. And that's not an excuse. It's my truth. And I had to battle with that, and then I fixed it. I corrected it. I came back, strung together wins. Then something else happened in my life or such and such, and it kind of pulled me away from my passion, and then a loss was the result of that. And then I pulled it all together, got my ass to work on time, did what I needed to do, and strung together wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. So my next question to you is there was a fighter that once told me that he could look at his opponent, he could look at his eyes, look at his body language, and he could immediately tell that he could defeat his opponent. Did you also have that as a fighter? Do you agree with that mentality where you're like, I could tell based on the body language and the way he's looking at me that I can beat him?
Well, there's always an aspect of uncontrollability when it comes to a fight. And that's why people like fights, because no matter what the numbers are, no matter what the copy box numbers are, no matter who the favorite is, there's always this wild chance that you could lose. However, with that being said, yes, there are key tells and signs and symbols that you have an advantage over this guy. You know what I mean? One of the things with, I'll give you an example. When I fought Rex Pena, he walked funny. He walked with his feet cocked sideways, which kind of means he never figured out that his toes were his balance. He's walking and it's like he needs a wheel alignment. You know what I mean? He's walking with toes going in two different directions. So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, he's going to have trouble turning the corner. Now that turned into a distinct advantage to me during the fight, because as long as we were fighting straight up, straight ahead, he was good. But whenever I would turn, he would have trouble catching up. There you go. So I'm not saying that caused me to win or that would instantly create a win for me, but it does give me an advantage of something I need to think about, or something other people should be thinking about when they walk onto the in the ring, or when they get in there. You should be looking at your tails and your weaknesses.
Yes, sir. So how has the fight game changed you as a man?
It's maintain discipline. As a man, it's easy to get distracted and to get fear off course. You got so much garbage going on in the world, so much garbage music, so much garbage on TV, so many emotional people and pulling you here and pulling you there, so much peer pressure and all this nonsense. And the gym and the fight game separates me from the world in a way. There's a level that most people can't follow. There's a place that most people can't go or aren't willing to go, a time that most people aren't willing to get up. And I'm up at those times. And I'm doing what most people aren't willing to do. So I get to be alone, so to speak, or just surrounded by people who are like-minded and strong. So that's been my advantage. That's how the fight game has shaped me, because I desire so much to be good, to be great, to be the best me, that it keeps me from being around any type of nonsense or anything that it will weaken me. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party, I don't stay up late. I can't afford to. I'll get my ass kicked. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel you.
So that separates me, and that's how it has affected my life. I've basically lived this life, the whole life. I just left the gym right now. I've been there since 6. So that's 6 to 10. That's 4 hours. Some people ain't even up yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a head start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we both love the fight game, but the fight game has had challenges, whether it's in boxing or MMA. There's always some things that you could change to make the sport better, the fight game better. So if there's anything you would change about the fight game, what would you change?
I changed the pay scale. This is a hazardous job, and with most hazardous jobs, there's a serious consideration for hazard pay. You know what I mean? It's a very hazardous job, and it grinds up a lot of people. Like I said, when it comes to medical, when it comes to pay, when it comes to, things like that, I believe that there should be a governing body that pushes to make sure that the fighters are being taken care of. You know what I mean? And with that being said, also as amateur fighters and as people get into the fight game, I believe there should be some sort of psych qualifications, or you should make sure that the people who are choosing to fight and that you're putting in there to fight as a promoter, you should make sure they're sound mind, mental state, not just body. Because remember, I told you the mind is more important than the body. So a guy can come and be physically capable of fighting, but is he mentally capable of fighting? That's very important. And then also I like to put on the promoters who put on the shows, especially the amateur shows. You got guys who are fighting for free. It's not like college. You play college football and you got a free education. When you went to NFL, you still have if you didn't go to the NFL, you still have a degree. As an amateur fighter, if you don't turn pro, you get nothing. You wasted your life. You didn't get paid anything for the amateur fight if you're doing it legally. And so when you opt out or don't become a pro, who looks after you? Who does anything for you? Not only that, those same promoters who made money putting on amateur shows, when you turn pro, they turn their back on you. They make their money in amateur fights. They don't sponsor you throughout your career. They don't push you as a one of their guys. I was the champ in 4 different I was the champ in 4 different promotions. 205, 185, all across, and there's not one, maybe one WCFL. He'll still hit me up and sponsor me from time to time. But I think that if I was the champ in your amateur promotion and you made money off of me for free, you should at least have a vested interest in my in my pro career. You know what I mean? Like, you should be obligated to take care of your champ who turned pro.
Exactly. I like all those reasonings. You definitely should be. Maybe that's something for you do career wise after your career, doing something to help fix the fight game. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I said, David Feldman and those guys are big thinkers, and they're definitely putting together different things to try to help the fighters and try to make sure that guys are, being taken care of. And that's what I do like about their organization. It's not a very selfish thing going on. It's a very open thing. I've even hit up the president and suggested different things, and they've honestly considered it. So that's a nice thing,
Yes, sir.
Most of these fight promotions, maybe they need a suggestion box.
Exactly. So what does success look like for Lorenzo Hunt?
I'm already successful.
Yes, sir.
I am exactly what I want to be. When it comes to the fight game, of course, money's a thing. But as far as success is concerned, I'm successful in the ring. I'm successful at home. I'm successful with my family. I'm successful with my business. You know what I mean? I am pushing the fight game and my profession. It helps me stay focused and stay goal oriented. However, a win or a loss won't make or break me. Being the champion or not being the champion won't make or break me. I'm already the champion in all aspects of my life. So yeah, I will be the BKFC light heavyweight and probably cruiserweight champion just because of my discipline. But that's not the goal. I'm just here, and I'm focused, and I'm gonna be hard to beat because of that focus.
Absolutely. So let's say, and it happens, you're a teacher as well. So if someone wants to become successful like you, someone successful in the ring, in the octagon, outside of the octagon, in family and in business, what are some of the personal keys of success that you would give to someone who wants to be in your position one day?
I believe that everything is a competition, but not just a competition with other people. It's a competition with yourself. It's a competition with the world. You are in constant competition. If you look at your life like that and you make everything into a race or everything into a game, then you will begin to win the little victories. You cannot be successful. You cannot be the best if you're not winning the little victories. For example, I wake up at 4:30 every morning. If I wake up at 4:36, I'm upset with myself. I lost that first little victory. That doesn't create the rest of my day. I can catch it up. I can win 2 more times. I can, you know what I mean? I'll win throughout the day, little victories that make my whole entire day a success.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When it comes to drinking soda or stopping at Burger King or eating garbage out of the gas station or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the way you treat people. Or I'll say even as simple as this, sometimes we get frustrated in traffic. If I lose it and blow the horn, I just lost a little victory. I could have took a deep breath and waited. You know what I mean?
True.
And I would have won. So I'm consciously critiquing myself, consciously trying to make myself better. It translates into all aspects of my life, especially fighting. I'm trying not to be instinctive and reactive. I'm fighting to be conscious, cerebral, and making purposeful motions. Instead of being controlled, I'm fighting for control. If you begin to do that on a daily basis, you will be good at whatever you set your mind to, because you've already won.
Wow.
7 or 8 times before you got to work.
I love that. I love that as a man. That's are those some of the things that your father taught you growing up on what it took to be a man?
Of course. I can wake up at 4:32 and call my dad. He's up. He beat me.
Wow.
I never beat him. I can't beat him at nothing. I can't beat him at basketball. I can't beat him at nothing. He still fights with me. We still go play chess. We play ping pong. This dude is good at everything. And that's just the thing. He's good at everything. For real.
That's amazing.
He laughs. If I get frustrated, he won that battle because he's calmer. He's more lighthearted. He's, you know what I mean? And it just teaches you to, that there's a way to defeat yourself.
Wow.
When I get in the ring with my opponent, he loses because I beat myself.
Interesting.
He can't beat me because I beat myself. I won already.
You're your toughest opponent.
Yeah.
You are your toughest opponent. I love it.
Yeah. If I look across the ring and see myself, now that's a fight. But I've been fighting that fight every day.
Wow. That's a key to success right there. Always improve. Your worst enemy is yourself. If you beat yourself, everything else is cake.
Everything else is cake. It's cake. Shit. I just had a brain fart. The guy that plays for Golden State, the one that shoots the jumpers like
Stephen Curry.
Oh my God. How is that? Listen, he shot 105.
Yes.
3-pointers straight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This dude must have a basketball court in his bedroom.
Yes.
He's got a basketball court in his kitchen. He must have a basketball court in his basement. There must be another basketball court in his driveway, one in the garage. All he does is shoot.
Exactly.
And if you care that much about anything, if you are that passionate about anything, I wouldn't try you.
I love that. Yes, sir.
I wouldn't try you. No, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you have an upcoming fight, February 5th, I believe, and you talked about how you plan on retiring your opponent. How do you see yourself visually winning the fight?
Like I said, it's not about my opponent. My opponent is 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. But I have woke up every day and created a mission to be the best possible me. When I do that to myself, when we get in the ring, we are not just fighting each other. It's a fight to prove. Every time that I woke up and you didn't, every time that you went out drinking and I didn't, every time that you ate nachos and I didn't, every time you ordered pizza and I didn't, every time I went for a 7-mile run and you didn't, every time I was at the gym and you weren't. You can't beat me at basketball, baseball, tennis. You can't beat me at chess, swimming. You can't beat me. If you can't beat me, you can't beat me. And that's how I approach it. So when I come to the ring, there will be such a skill gap that my opponent will have no choice but to say, this is not the life for me anymore.
Wow.
Because you spent your time doing something else, and it's going to show in the ring. So whatever you were doing when you should have been training, go back and do it. That's your life. That's your job. That's what you're good at. Go be good at that. Retire from fighting.
Wow. I love that. So where can people follow you? Everybody watching this, please follow Lorenzo Hunt. He posts videos, live videos of his training.
I post my videos every day. I post my training pretty much every day on Lorenzo Hunt on Facebook, or you can go to @TheJuggernautHunt on Instagram and check out my Instagram. I don't have a Twitter yet, but I'm working on it. I'm kind of slow with all this technology stuff because I spend most of my time in the gym.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, follow me on Instagram @TheJuggernautHunt. You'll see some really cool videos. You'll see some really cool knockout punches. You'll see a whole different style of fighting that you've never seen before. And if you watch some of my videos on Facebook, you'll see what I'm teaching. You'll see that I'm teaching something new, something different, something that is going to take them a few years to catch up with. And you'll understand why I'm winning and why I'm supremely confident in my ability to retire my opponent.
Yes, sir. Well, you know who I'm picking February 5th. I'm picking the Juggernaut.
Rock with me. Y'all also can bet, too. You know, I don't really push counts, but my mom made a pretty penny when she bet on me. So you can, too. If you go to betonline.ag, you can drop a bet on there. Bet on your guy, man, and make some money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your time, Lorenzo. You have a blessed day.
I appreciate you guys. Anytime, man. Hit me up.
Yes, sir.